Guys, this is going to be a thing.
Hello?
Hello. What's up, bro?
Hey, it's the What's Up Bro podcast. We talk movies, sports, TV shows, pop culture, and it's funny, motherfuckers. With nary signs. I'm like, what? How can this... They have Photoshop. Photoshop exists when this artist rendition was done. How the fuck is this not cooler looking than a sketch that looks like it was done by a hillbilly off the side of the road? What the fuck are we talking? Why is this a thing?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
With Missy.
Just let me finish my thought before you fucking interrupt me. Wrong room to ask questions.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And Mike Markadal.
I'm just glad I like vanilla boring sex like this. I'm glad that the sex I enjoy won't get me killed.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
You know, somebody wrote that like guitar riff, and now, hey everybody, my name's
Unfinished thought.
We are here. Dad's not here, so we get to. Oh no! Wait, am I dad and Mary's mom?
I don't think we need to
Let's not do that.
look behind that door.
The moment you start saying someone's dad and mom,
Yeah,
then inevitably someone turns into daddy.
Oh yeah.
That's what I meant by let's not open that door.
Yeah, let's not.
You
open
showed
up
me a
that.
peek at the door. I looked at the crack.
I am a changed man. Hi, I'm Mike Mercadal, and with me to this side is
Missy.
and down here we have
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
She's down under.
She's down under.
Get it?
Hey everybody. Hello chat. If you're in the chat, say what's up. We love you. Thank you for watching the show.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to
Chat
push
always makes it
that
fun.
chat interaction. I may at some point, because Nary's not here, I can do whatever I want, right? We can just like by committee, by vote, we will vote.
Yeah.
I had an idea of let's just give somebody the link to join us on the show.
Ooh.
Let it be Yolanda. Let it be Yolanda.
We'll see who chimes in. Thank you everybody for joining us on the What's Up Bro podcast, part of the geekbro.net podcast network. Where are we enjoying? Have you done your homework for Kickflix yet?
No.
No,
I don't
at
know.
all?
Oh, you have
No.
homework?
Well, it's homework for me because that's not my jam. Apparently I add value. That's the rumor.
In all
But
fairness, it is homework for all of us because we gotta watch this.
but you guys like that genre of you do. You like
I
that
had to
genre?
watch Blind Fury, guys. Everybody,
You're
who's
still
listening,
mad.
I'm still so mad about that garbage movie. Go listen to Kickflix.
Can you
Go
do
watch
the
it.
thing?
It's on the page.
Do the thing.
Kickflix. Kickflix. And follow us at Kickflix Pod. Follow Mount Geekmore. There's one of those coming up soon. All that stuff. Stay tuned for follow all the social media. We do all the plugs up front when I do this. We do all the plugs up front.
Hey, just go with it, my dude.
Yeah. How is everybody doing? How's everybody's brain? How's everybody's body? How's everybody's spirit?
No, can we talk about what's trending on Twitter instead?
No, we're getting deep.
No.
We're getting
Oh shit!
deep.
Right off the bat,
No, I don't know.
my child just turned 1 year old.
Happy
know, happy birthday.
to the boy. Do you
Yeah.
so we're all on TikTok now. We're all obsessed and addicted to TikTok. Do
Yes.
you constantly have that "Here Comes the Boy" song stuck in
Yes,
your head?
it's in my head, and sometimes when he crawls to me, I hear it.
Here comes the boy. All right. That is literally one of the most listened to pieces of music in the world right now, right? Like millions
Really?
of people are listening. If you think about it, like it's getting more actual listens to
It was just
Jeff.
someone singing about their cat. It was just
Is that what it is?
So
I
all
think
of
it was
these
originally about a cat.
Yeah,
And
like
originally the sound was supposed to be for people to show their pets and their cats, and then people started showing off their boyfriends instead on straight TikTok.
and immediately people were like, "Do not do that. Do not show off a human boy. What are you talking about?" You know, they even were like anti. That's one thing I love about the internet. Like people love baby animals, baby dog, baby cat, but the second you show an actual human baby, there's a portion of the internet that's like, "Fuck your baby. I don't want to see it. Give me a little cute animal."
Or
fortunately, I'm on a side of TikTok that's like okay with babies. Like I've landed on this weird spot of TikTok because even though like parent stuff comes up for me now, a lot of people in my age, because of like my interests, like there's a lot of child-free stuff as well. So like cute baby things will pop up, and it's a bunch of child-free people in the comments being like, "This one I like. This one's nice. This is a good one. You have enjoy that one. I will enjoy none and look at yours."
Mine's a mix because I do get a lot of kids doing some funny shit. But then I get like the huskies that talk back, which always crack me up.
Yes.
They're so moody, and I think it's so funny. Like they're the closest to a human, like in a dog form, I guess is the right way to say it, but they're just hilarious. I've never seen one husky video that doesn't send me like
bark. They go, "Arr, arr, arr," you know,
and they talk back.
Yeah.
Like the owner, there was one that I saw yesterday that the husky was in trouble. So the owner kept trying to talk to the husky, and she kept going through the dog door. So when the owner would go on the other side to meet him, she would turn around and come back, and they were just doing that back and forth. I just thought it was so funny.
I do love a good interspecies.
So wait, what side of TikTok does everyone think they're at? Sorry,
I'm on D&D TikTok. A lot, like Dungeons and Dragons TikTok. I'm on like Marvel TikTok a lot. Like so, like there's a ton of that nerd. I'm on nerd talk a lot, but I've also stumbled into the oddly satisfying, like clean, like the people who grind things, and it's a satisfying thing.
Like
or
the
like
ASMR.
It's less about ASMR and more about like visually satisfying. Like
the oddly satisfying section.
Where like something fits exactly in the space that's not really meant for it, but it does. Or like people power washing, cleaning. People
that
cleaning
shit's cool.
Swimming pools has come up a bunch lately, and I don't know why. It's like the end of summer already, but like it's weird like what the Skynet has told me about myself before it decided to take over.
Things have come up about me where I'm like, oh, I guess.
There's like a my feed is a melting pot of things. I recently stumbled into tornado talk, which
what is tornado talk?
Love. It's storm chasers, Michael. Storm chasers on TikTok. And it's amazing. It's amazing. 10 out of 10 recommends. I'm also on Marvel TikTok. I'm on therapy TikTok too, but I'm trying to clean that shit up because it's like enough. Like I need a little bubble of peace. And then every now and then I'll get like a sprinkle of kink talk, which is always very educational.
Is there a way to reset your algorithm? Like, is there a practice so that you can like just like how do you
actively search out other things?
TikTok runs their algorithm is built not on how you interact with it, but on how long the video keeps your attention. So if it's something that you could like and keep going, that did nothing for your algorithm. But if you watch a whole video or you get 3/4 into it, that's when it picks up the algorithm that's something that's likely to keep your attention. So that's what they start feeding your For You page.
You know what I also get a lot of, because of my friend who got me on TikTok is gay. I get a lot of like LGBTQ stuff as well. So I'm always like, yeah, I'm supportive. It's like, I wonder if they can tell I'm like, because it still feeds me like girls and like attractive women. So it's one of those things where it's like, is it smart enough to know that I'm straight but an ally? Like, how is it putting it together?
Yes. So like for me it very quickly picked up on, because it gave me LGBTQ stuff at the beginning as well. No, sorry, first I tried to go straight and I was like
straight TikTok is not where you want to be.
It's boring as fuck.
Yeah,
but then immediately within the second day it was already like, hey, you're a slightly nerdy bi lady who likes to roller skate, and I'm like, huh.
slightly. It's like, damn, that's really specific.
It gets real.
There was a trend for a while where people were like, hey, if I ended up on your TikTok, you are this, and that. And there was a woman who described me. She's like, you have colored hair.
I'm also
hair. You want more tattoos. You're like, you're bi, but like sometimes you wonder. And
I'm also on adult ADHD TikTok, which has been so educational. And so far that's all I can go on because
I'll tell you what I've ended up on a lot also is healthcare TikTok of people being like anti-vax people and like and literally doxing people, like
it's fascinating.
Getting people fired.
It's fascinating.
I don't know how I feel about it. I'm ambivalent about it because those people shouldn't be working in healthcare, but also like they hunt them down. They go through all of their social media pictures, figure out who they work for, and then notify them that, hey, this person's posting anti-vax, anti-mask
CIA shit that they do.
Well, that happened on Twitter. That happened on Twitter today. There's a viral video that went of a kid talking at a school board meeting where he was talking, making his case for trying to keep the mask going, and the adult lady behind him kept mocking him, laughing, whatever. The reason why that video came up was because somehow on my feed, somebody liked it, that it pushed it to the top. And it was somebody going, hey, at Cigna, this person works for you. And then if you go down the thread, she's a case manager, she's a nurse, she's on RN registered, like just vigilante, like straight the fuck up. That lady's like professional career. Like go get your real estate license right now.
Like better than her LinkedIn. Like,
yes.
I mean, like, I don't know how I feel about it, but that's something that I don't know why I forgot, but that is very prevalent on my stuff. Or like
there's a thin line, I think, but like there's some that I've seen that are fascinating. Like the ones that I've seen that are really interesting are like straight out racism or people who've said things that are really kind of detrimental to other people. Like, okay. Some people are like, all right, well, you're someone you work for because you work with these people should know. I'm like, okay, if you're specifically a person who's saying that you're trying to sneak and pretend you had a vaccine, but you're also working with people who are susceptible, like at that point,
if you have like a stethoscope around your neck and you're spreading misinformation about the vaccine, you kind of don't, you shouldn't work where you do.
Also, the ones where people are like, here's this guy who's very anti-vax. And then they show a bunch of stuff of him being like, it's bullshit, it's fake, I'm not getting the vaccine. And they're like, oh, and they're dead now. And then it shows them like dead. Like someone's like, pray for the family of who, like, it's one of those things where I don't feel good about it, but I don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, you got what you were getting. You kind of got what you were going for.
The ending bit always to me ends up feeling a little bit like, because I fell across this like Reddit, the subreddit called COVID Ate My Face.
And
it's all
extension from the leopards ate my face. Right. Do you know that, Missy? Do you know the leopard?
Who's eating their faces?
It started during the election, during the 2016 election, of like people voting for leopards to eat their face, shocked to find their face eaten by leopards. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
right. Okay.
Like it's like you vote. It's like when they show that there's like a political cartoon of like a flock of sheep, and then pointing at a sign of a wolf, and they're like, I may not agree with what he says, but he says it like it is. And then it's like, the thing's gonna eat you. It's a wolf. You know what I mean? Like, why are you voting for the wolf? That kind of thing. So now it's the COVID version of that. Where it's like,
so like the first time I came across it, I was like, oh, this is vaguely interesting, but like tinged with like ick for me because of the fact that they're sharing the irony of these people being super anti-vax and then like dying or something happening and then passing things down. Or like the ones that piss me off are parents who are like, I know my child has it now, but I would still never get it. Those people piss me off. But like there's something in, just because Reddit is a little bit, there's parts of it that people can like revel in it too much, that just makes me feel that
isn't that the internet though in general?
It is the internet.
I know. I know. Just sometimes I feel like we're gathered around the guillotine. Like, and I'm just.
I mean, it's just the nature. It's the nature of the beast at this point. I think.
Like, I don't know. I used to, when you hear stories about people going to the gladiator fights, you wonder, but did you enjoy watching the man getting eaten by a lion? Like, is there no part of you that felt bad
That
about
was the
this
thing
slave
they
getting
did back
attacked by this
then.
lion?
I mean,
It's
people would
but
go to hanging, like public hangings, as
yeah,
in
and the
in
guillotine, like
the
this is
United
all
States.
public.
Forget about Rome.
Yeah, like this is all public stuff. People have always done it. Now we're just doing it in a wider and
Yeah.
easier access way, and
From
there's
the
just a part of
comfort
me
of
that
your
just
toilet.
yeah, there's
Here's
just a part of me that's
Rookie.
just like I shouldn't be.
He says, "This is vaxxers," but he says, "Luckily, anti-vaxxers are a dying breed." Boom. I mean,
it's
he's not wrong.
Oh, okay. There's another TikTok sound that's popping through my head right now of like, you need to stop. It's a good joke, but also don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
It's one of those things where, like, the pun is
I
so.
have no
but also,
I have no sympathy or empathy for people that are loud about it and then get it.
Yeah.
No, like zero.
oh,
I
you really get it? Oh, like
I- there's been tons of people, and this is an indictment on my character, sure, but there's tons of people that come across my feed that like, representative so and so who marched against or whatever went to super spreader dies of COVID, and I've laughed.
No.
I'm sorry, I've laughed at this point. It's unfortunate for the family and the kids that guy leaves behind or that woman leaves behind, but it's hilarious that the very thing that you're denying kills you.
Right. That's the leopards ate my face part of it. Where it's like, it's like, oh no, it's like, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions, you know what I mean? Like, it's
like the guy who there are just certain things that people end up fucking themselves over. Like there was a United States Catholic bishop who was super I can do this, who was super loud a few months ago about banning Joe Biden, Grandpa Joe, from going to mass because he's pro-life, right? He's pro-choice.
Pro-choice. Or
he's pro-choice.
At the very least, not pro-life.
Correct. So he got the whole United States Catholic Conference of Bishops behind it. They were whatever, like super fucking loud about it. And the guy that was the loudest motherfucker about it gets caught with a Grindr account, and I have laughed.
Of course, it's always
that at least half an hour. I could not stop. Like that's comedy. That is.
And it's never like, oh, he's just cheating on his wife or whatever. It's like, no, he's got a Grindr account, which is like many layers of you being full of shit. You know what I mean? Like so many layers of like you talking out your ass.
And so those things are like, to me, like that's at this point, like I guess it's just that my brain is effectively melted in a lot of ways, and like I guess my dark humor has just been dialed up, or that's the kind of shit that cracks me up now, because it's just, could you not ask for it that easily? Like make it hard.
it's just a sign of the times about how, because you think about like I saw a post today, something about like, do you think people during the Black Plague were like this difficult to deal with? We're like, fuck you, I'm gonna go to that jousting tournament. Fuck you, I'm gonna watch them people do. I'm gonna go to that public gathering. Like,
I mean, there's people who would see things as like, you only got sick if you were morally this way, or that. Like, there's people who saw themselves apart from it all, right?
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, they only got sick because they're witches.
Right.
It's like, what?
Or they didn't pray enough, or they didn't do this enough, or like they have reasons why people get sick, and it's not just one of those things where like, oh, maybe it's because they're poor.
My whole view on humans, like as a species, has made a hard left turn this past year and some change, because there's some of the shit. It's like you, as a species, you just genuinely don't give a shit about each other, like on any level. Like on any basic level, there's just no fucking.
That's dark.
It's fucking
dark. I think that's true. We hear those voices the most. I think that there's a lot of people who genuinely care and want to reach out for each other and stuff like that. They're just not the ones who get the attention.
Here's my theory.
Okay.
I think that Twitter should change.
I'll go with that.
Twitter should change the font of what you write, like of your post, based on how many people are like, this is full of shit. You know what I mean? Like. So that way you're not at the same size font
like
as everybody else. I'm
talking
about like shrink it down, where it's just
so
like
you need like a spectacle.
Yeah, where it's like, if enough people don't want me to see this, I'm gonna have to really like I'm never gonna stumble across your bullshit. I'm just gonna be real small, like that, or
they're gonna be like, oh, I found the truth. They were trying to hide it.
Yeah.
That kind of shit all the time.
And then it's like fine, and then they're really small. You know what I mean? Like, and even then, at a certain point, I'm sure there will be some way that people debunk it or whatever, like build bots.
No, I have a family member who will straight up like try to share stuff on Facebook, right? And you never get to see the thing they actually share because all you ever see is the follow-up post of them being like, Facebook's trying to repress the truth.
I really do love that.
This is silencing. This is like silencing my freedom of speech. And trying to like censor like the truth and stuff. And then like you literally see the little like dialogue even underneath that being like, don't spread misinformation of COVID-19. And I'm just like,
I do love the people who post stuff and then like, it's got that warning. It's got like you catch it early, and then when you come back to it later, it's got the grayed out thing of like misinformation. You know, like this is inaccurate or whatever it is. I do love that. Okay, hard right turn because you were talking about like humanity, and I'm like, we should have done a lot of different things to get to where we are. Like that's my current take is that we've reached a point of like. We could have done so many other things, but we didn't. So, brings me to: are you guys watching Marvel's What If on Disney Plus?
Yes,
it's
I just didn't see yesterday's.
Yeah, I won't spoil yesterday's, but or for us, it's today still. But that show has kind of really branched out, and it feels to me. I tweeted this out today. It feels like a gift to the people who knew that more was possible than what we were getting in the MCU, but weren't dicks about it. You know what I mean? Like we were like, yeah, they'll get there. We know what if it's going. They can do whatever they want. It's Marvel. They got multiverses and shit. We know what's coming. And as opposed to those people that, well, they should have done this. You know, blah blah blah.
Yeah, but like, and it's also them recognizing, being like, but that's possible as well. The thing you're talking about, it's just a different universe.
It's just a different
and
universe.
That's okay.
So
because it's possible now in your universe. You know. It was only ever the original Avengers or whatever.
So it's been very cool. They talk about like one decision that changes something.
Oh God, I know where this
changes the what. We're going to say what decision? What if you could change that? Where do you think your biggest what if episode? Where does your what if episode come in? Like what would it be?
My joke thing was my joke one is like, what if Odin was a loving father? Like that's my just want to know.
Really? Oh, I meant for us as individuals, but if you want to make more Marvel stuff.
For Marvel stuff, like what if Odin was a loving father? Like I just want to know.
You think Hela would have been a different person? Or
I think maybe. I think she could have been a different person. I think that like there would have been a little more honesty in the family. That like I want to see a Hela, Loki, and Thor. Like
but if it's wholesome, where's the conflict?
It'll turn into like a sitcom.
If there's no family drama, like what do we get?
They have plenty of things that could like go wrong. It's still fine.
Jeff says today's episode was fire. Yes, it was, Jeff. I don't want to talk about it yet.
Don't talk about it, Jeff. I really hope that today's was fire because last week's depressed the shit out of me.
It was but how good are these like compacted little stories that they're like jamming everything in there, and some people are saying that they're too fast, and I'm like, yeah, no shit, they're supposed to be super compact and condensed.
Yeah, it's just the animated version of like when you're having a hypothetical like nerd conversation with your friends of like this is how it would go down and da 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 da. Like I love that shit.
What would the Flash do? You know, like that kind of shit when you sit around with your nerds with your nerd crew and just start. There's always like nerd debates about like Superman versus Batman or the Hulk or like if they crossed universes, like, and then you find out that they've done it like a million times already. They've all like that answer is like hard to come up. Yeah, they've already had some form of that answer before or whatever. So now that you've had a chance to think about it, what is your what if episode? Because one of mine that
what if in my life, I think.
Mike, you go first.
No, this would be like TikTok. Hey, how do you to whatever? I'll go first.
Tell me your regrets without telling me your regrets. I'll go first.
There's a few like ones that I feel like saying a giant thing is not necessarily like in the spirit of this what if. It's like going down the chain of a little choice, a little choice. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the hard part about the show, because you don't know, because it was something so insignificant. Like in my mind, I wonder what if I had not, like, I used to drive. One of my cars died on the side of the road one time, and I called AAA, and I got towed home. Like, what if I didn't have AAA, my card or something like that? Like, how would the split sliding doors, alternate multiverses could have happened from something as dumb as that? Or like
this is another way to frame it is like, you guys have seen sliding doors,
right?
Yeah. Like this is like your sliding door moment is what
if
you're
I missed
asking.
the train, yeah,
correct.
I think I'm living it already though, like in a way, because the trip that I ended up taking that
just
made
because
me
you're
meet
in a
Dave,
different time zone doesn't mean you're in a different timeline. Okay.
No, but I'm saying the trip that I took that made me meet Dave was technically sold out when I was trying to get onto it. And if it wasn't for like this one particular person that got switched onto my brother, and my brother was like, oh, but we're the same people and we can be tacked onto the same thing. Is there any space in this one flight? One flight happened to have people cancel, and not on the trip we were in, just a flight happened to have people canceled, and we managed to get into this thing that was sold out, that didn't have capacity for us.
Not part of your group. Like, it's not like this person would have married David. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
that's what
like,
but I think
what the smallest
I have big
change
what
would be.
ifs. I have big what ifs, but
I don't have a small nothing. I have I know the moment. I know the moment where I do know the moment when my life kind of split into two, and that's
is it deep though? Is it mind, body, soul?
No, it's just the decision on where to go to school, to go to college.
Oh.
That's it. If I had, like, looking back, like, you know how they do that, my therapist does this with me all the time, like, if you can go back and talk to yourself, whatever it's called, like reparenting technique or whatever, if you can tell yourself something at 18, my answer is always like, get the fuck out and go to school somewhere else. I don't care if it's Orlando, I don't care if it's Tampa, I don't care if it's wherever the fuck, just get out and go to school somewhere else, because that really was the moment where my life did this. And now I'm so many years later, I'm at peace with it, and I know that because that didn't happen, the exact people that I have in my life are in my life because that didn't happen. So I wouldn't change it now, but not knowing anything, like back at 18, I would just get out, just go away to college.
Could you, man? Has anybody here seen the movie Mr. Destiny? Mr. Destiny with Jim Belushi.
Jeff has probably. I bet you $1 that Jeffrey has. I bet you he has.
So this movie is about when this man is unhappy in his life, and he thinks back to this one moment in a little league baseball game, or like a high school baseball game, where he struck out, and it was literally like the game to end the season, to be like to win states or whatever the fuck it was, some big game, and he strikes out, and the other team wins, and everybody, like, you know, he's kind of like dejected, and now his life sucks, and he points to that one thing, like, he's like, oh man, if I could just change that. And then one day he wakes up, and he's living the life as if it had continued from the point where he hit the ball and he hit a home run, and he's the hero. He was the high school hero or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then but here's the twist. It's not all it's cracked up to be. That's like what they say, like, you should never be careful what you wish for, because you might get it.
Look, I bet you $1 he had seen it.
I don't want to miss it with $1, but yes, Jeff has seen it. Yes.
Absolutely. If it's an obscure movie, Jeffrey has seen it.
Yeah, like Blind Fury. I'm still mad at you,
Jeff.
Oh
my God.
I'm still mad.
He's so mad about that movie.
You have to get into this is the WuBro, the Geek Bro cinematic universe, the Geek Bro podcast universe. It bridges multiple podcast, entities. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, be careful what you wish. So it's like one of those things where who knows?
Like the butterfly effect. You change one thing, everything changes, like that.
That movie.
I mean, there's plenty of things. I think being an adult, there's plenty of things you're going to think what if about, right? I have deeper ones, I have smaller ones, I have everything like that. But getting to a place, like I said, I have a little human now. So like anything in my life that would have changed would mean he's not there. So it's
But
like one of those things where I'm like, fuck it.
Do you feel like
Fuck it.
your kid is kind of like a do-over for you? Are you one of those people that's like,
No.
I'm gonna teach him all of the mistakes that I made so that
No, he's gonna make his own mistakes. He's his own human.
He just had cake. You know what I mean? Like we haven't gotten to big life mistakes yet.
But it's true that like he's his own little person. He's gonna be raised by me, so he's not gonna be me because I am who I am because I was raised by my own parents. So like I can't ever give him exactly what I had. There's no way to keep this experiment going. It's just
true.
I'm just trying to learn who he is, really.
Yeah. Here's from Rookie. What's up, buddy? A long time listen. If I hadn't gone to see Gabriel Iglesias live like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have discovered his opener, Rick Gutierrez. Then I went to see Rick headlining at the Improv, and his opener that night was a fresh-faced young Nary.
Aww.
And the rest is history. Wow.
That's sweet.
That is interesting. I'll tell you this. Like, I'll tell you a big one. A girl I was dating invited me to go to a improv show where her people from some of her teachers and some other people that she knew were in the show. Had that not happened, also the night that I went for it was like the first or second time that I'd gone, a friend of ours got into a big fight and we're breaking up, and it happened on the show because he volunteered to go up on stage to be one of the pick me and to give suggestions. And he said something about her, and she was like, "Don't you dare!" I got up and stormed out. So if this whole culmination of weird situations that led to drama at an improv show led me to perform with them, which led me to comedy, which led me to New York City. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's a complete chain reaction of stuff like that. It's fun to think about that kind of stuff too. Like not what if, but like how, like how did it's like that Talking Head song. How did I end up here? Like this?
I mean, that's just like one of those things. It's not one of those things. It's that thing where you don't know until you know. So like you're not able to reflect, or you don't have perspective on the what if, or that moment, that singular moment that did this to your life, unless you are that far removed from it. I wasn't supposed to. I was a courtesy invite to Mama's.
Right.
Because my husband at the time was invited on another podcast, and I was a courtesy invite on Mama's. Then one night that Neri happened to be home from the road, and because I hit it off like with the Mamas and Neri, whatever, and all of that unraveled. When the shit hit the fan 8-9 months later, I had a fucking baller support system surrounding me and holding me the fuck up that had I not been a courtesy invite, I probably would have not had.
Wow.
So that's like that big. Those are the things that like
just like a random like, oh yeah, let's have her on.
Let's have her on because
here. Look, you're right there.
Now I'm here.
Yeah.
And I used to be
I'm here because I was the ride.
And exactly. So like there's tons of things like that happen that like completely unplanned. Like what the hell did I know about podcasting? I'm not a professional comedian entertainer. So I don't have like a thing where I know how to work a conversation. I'm just fucking talk shit.
I'm only on the show because I had a microphone. We have to have a little talk with Neri about how all this shit worked out.
No, wasn't it that you guys were like after the show or something like that? He mentioned like, hey, I want to start a podcast, and you're like, pick me. Like that's how it happened, right?
Okay. I wish Neri had mentioned it before on the show. We've talked about it before on the show that he had no idea. Like we knew each other vaguely, through comedy. And then we were outside of a show, and I had been trying to get a podcast off the ground. Like I had been trying to do something with my best friend Chris. I'd been trying to just get something, and I had a feed. It was called Feed Media, and like Feed Me Media, and it was called Feed Media. And I was trying to figure out, and we were literally just going to go through the top 10s of whatever the thing for the week was. Top 10 movies this week, top 10 songs, top 10 whatever. And we were going to talk shit about like the like a feed. And I had bought a microphone and I was like getting ready, and then things fell through, and I was like, oh, well, okay, I guess. So I had it there. And then when he said, hey, I'm looking to start a podcast, I was like, hey, yeah, I was doing that. I know how to, and I knew how to set up the feed to get on Apple, on iTunes. And then literally he was like, and I remember he even said, he's like, am I really going to let this motherfucker in my house? Like,
yeah,
what if he's a crazy person? Like, there's a lot of weirdos in comedy, you know? I could have been a total nut job.
Same.
I mean, not to say that I'm not.
I just walked into his house one day.
Yeah, but you find your people. Like
it's true. And that's one of my closest friends, which is the funniest.
Yeah.
Like, it's true. Like, you never know the chain reaction of things that lead you to whatever you're like your best laid plans, you know, like there's
tons of that that there's like no point. I think I DM'd you like a long rant stuff this weekend where I was like, I had a moment. I had kind of a rough month when it comes to mental health, and I'm coming out of it, thankfully. But like where I finally feel like myself again. Yeah. And one of the things that helps me out of that is to write it out.
I was going to say kung fu movies, but okay.
No, that does not.
No, and that probably helped. That probably made it
Why
worse.
are we making you do this kung fu shit if you're not?
At this point, I'm just going with it. So anyway,
that's why you're making
going with it. I'm going to be the Daria of the podcast. It's fine. I found my niche. So one of the things that I was like writing out this weekend was like, there's this. I am guilty as fuck about this, where I've always been driven by the construct of if then. Right. So like if this, then I can do that. What if I lose weight, then I'll do that. If I finish grad school, but the thing is that I keep adding shit to it, and I keep moving the fucking finish line, and I never get to the then.
Yeah.
And one of the hard things about this past year was that one of my ifs that I had put was like, after graduation, will have started to lose weight. I will start dating, and then I'm going to Greece. I'm going to see my family, and then. And the whole fucking planet was like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds that right in the moment where I'm, for all intents purposes, peaking in all areas of my life, I can't do shit about it.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy any of it because it's a matter of global public health. Yeah. And so
the whole world was like, no, Missy.
The lesson here
Bro, I'm right there with you though.
Yeah. The lesson here for me at this point is stop fucking living in the future of like, when I do this, then that. Like now is all there is, because the past and the future are fully constructs in our head. We have no fucking idea what's coming next.
I'm gonna because that on a pillow. We have no fucking idea.
We have no fucking idea what's coming next. So like now is the time to do everything that you are putting off or whatever, because you don't know what's coming next. So just fucking do it now.
As a medical health professional, I had no fucking idea that other medical health professionals didn't believe in medicine. I had no fucking idea.
The more you know?
Yeah.
The less you wanna.
I had no fucking idea that like suddenly wanting people to like not die to like get paid a decent living is like,
it's a conversation.
I had no fucking idea that people are like, no, let them starve. What?
Yeah.
No, I had no fucking idea. Look, Hilda's saying, I randomly clicked on one of Mike's WuBro links, and now I have a new friend.
Yay, I love Hilda.
I'm starting to feel a little left out. I think I need to talk to Hilda one day.
Hilda's dope as fuck.
Because I hear great things.
Hilda's dope as fuck. We should send her the link, Mike.
Everyone who I've brought to the Hilda universe, everyone that I've brought to the WuBro universe has been dope. Everybody is crushing it. I don't know where my stepmom is, but she's become famous.
Oh my god, I love her so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to her for life advice one day. Watch.
You got message who you're gonna message there. Live in the now, Missy.
Now is the moment.
Now's the moment. Should we talk about? Let's see. We got to talk about
John Munnlaney. Can we talk about John Munnlaney?
What happened with John Munnlaney?
So John Munnlaney.
Here we go.
John Munnlaney last year. No, he's not canceled. It's just this is a commentary on how funny life is. John Munnlaney last year goes to rehab early last year, and at some point last year separates from his wife, and they file for divorce. The shtick, John Mulaney, I'm a huge fan of John Mulaney. I think he's fucking hilarious. Everything he's done on Netflix is just laugh out loud hilarious, and super big fan. So whatever, he separates, gets a divorce, and then the rumors start that he's smashing Olivia Munn. And I'm like, that can't be real. Like, not John Mulaney. He's, the guy.
What do you mean?
And the whole thing with John Mulaney was one of his bits, or he had a lot of bits, but one of the things that he was always very vocal about is that he doesn't want to have kids. He never wants to have kids. Him and his wife are happily kidless and have a pug, and they're fine and no kids whatsoever. He's been dating Olivia Munn since late last year, early this year. She's fully pregnant with his kid. And I don't know if his divorce is final yet or not, but I just think it's really funny. Like, this is a story for me that works in two ways. It's like that, how like the He's Not That Into You movie, where like the whole point is that if he treats you like Shay doesn't like you, and then everybody gets what they want. So it's like you ruin the whole point of the movie. This is a testimony to all the girls, all the women out there that are like, oh, if I wait long enough, I can find somebody that will want to have he'll change and want to have a kid eventually. Yeah, but he has to leave you first. I mean, I don't know. I'm just really
You don't know if she was the one who just didn't want to have kids in the end too. Like, she may still have what she wants, but she may not want this kid.
There's a lot to unpack here.
You know?
And I'll say that he went on Seth Meyers, who I objectively think Seth Meyers is very funny, but he's also funny. A good dude. Yeah. Everything I've heard about him is that he was great on SNL, super respectful of everybody, and
his special on Netflix is funny too.
Yeah,
recommend.
I like Seth Meyers, and I like his late night show, and he went on there, and there's like a 18-minute video of him on there, and he drops the announcement that they're he's like, I'm having a baby and I'm gonna be a dad, and Seth is a dad, so they had that whole conversation. And it's crazy to me that so I'm also in Facebook, I'm in like a bunch of comedian groups, and one of them that I ended up in is a celebrity gossip blinds
the blind items
or whatever they're called, where they don't put anybody's name, and also regular celebrity gossip. So people are connecting the dots from like previous posts and about how long John Mulaney has actually been seeing her, and was she cheating on what's his name, the Aaron Rodgers, when they broke up. It was like an ugly thing, but also apparently people are digging up her autobiography,
her memoir,
or whatever. It's like a book.
I saw that on the TikToks.
Yeah, and someone, and where she's like, she shits on fat people. She genuinely has like problematic.
It's very pick me girl.
Yes, and she's been accused a lot of like being kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, what, like, how do these, and I've heard stuff about John Mulaney too, that he's an asshole. So it's like, how do these assholes keep fighting each other? and once again,
like, what's the persona? What's the real thing? Like,
my theory stands that the most like angry loads are the ones that get babies. You accidentally get a baby from angry sex. She was, who knows?
That's another t-shirt, Hilda. The angry load
is
the most fertile one.
Angry loads are the most fertile. Be careful. Maybe you're mad is when you need to pull out the most.
I don't know.
Words of advice from
the more you know. That's the title of this episode. The more you know.
Is that another pillow?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you find your people eventually. It's very fascinating to me, having been through a like 0.0001% version of kind of like the overlap of when it's over with your husband and when they start with a new person. I think it's very, and now that I'm this far removed and so much therapy, I can look back at it and be like, it's very fascinating how quickly people are just done. Like, they're just fucking done. And then like, zero fucks, just move
There's
on.
also a lot of people concerned about how quickly he's getting into another relationship after rehab.
Rehab and a divorce.
Because
That's
he was
that's a
in
lot of red
rehab.
flags.
Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. There's so many. Where is it?
And there's Kaylee Cuoco,
red flags.
Speaking of red flags,
red flags.
Kind of in the same brand of this thing. Kaylee Cuoco this past weekend announces that she's leaving her husband of 3 years. She's been rumored to be smashing Pete Davidson. Because they're working together. Okay. And apparently this guy has a magnum dick.
Big old dick. Yeah.
We've known about this since Ariana.
Everybody is like, I want to find out. And a lot of women are. Except this one is notorious from jumping from one fucking guy to the other. She rebounded with her first ex-husband because Henry Cavill dumped her ass. And before that, she was with an MMA fighter. And before that, she has not been single for more than 5 minutes. Kaylee Cuoco.
Oh. Okay.
So
see, I can't judge. I've always been a serial monogamist. Like I'm a serial monogamist, so it always seems like I'm in another relationship too. Like,
but is it monogamy or is it like you don't? Jennifer Lopez does the same thing. She's never single for more than 5 minutes.
I don't care. Like it's one of the things where in the sense of like. Not that you shouldn't like whoever wants to care give a fuck. But
no,
like,
I'm just saying it's fascinating how we the way this we function like this because I'm talking about celebrities, but this shit happens to regular mortals too. So
that's what I'm saying because I think back. I think
look
back,
at how you put it.
I know.
You know the gods. Do we not worship the gods? That's how it feels going on these celebrity gossip sites. Though they treat they either treat them like they are infallible deities. Or they have that parasocial relationship where that's my friend. They're just
it's
strangers.
Creepy the way people treat. I was literally having this conversation with my mom yesterday. Like it's creepy how people treat celebrities because I've been in situations and in projects. I've been in projects before where I've clicked with someone who is perceived as a celebrity and they're like, yeah, they're a celebrity in their own right. And because we're just working together, we've clicked and stuff like that. But because we've clicked and I'm just a normal person, it's seen as bad. So I had this one artist I was working with and I've been working with him already for a few days and we had already been clicking and I was always around. As a photographer, I have to be a freaking shadow for a while if I'm doing behind the scenes stuff. So I'm one of the people who's with him the most. And so I'm that escape, right? I'm the person he gets to talk to and talk about home, blah, blah, blah.
Can you say who it is?
And at the end of the trip, since he's not going to be using his hotel room, he's like, hey, the one you're staying at is really creepy and a not in safe area. I'm not going to be here. Just take mine. And even said it in public in front of his A&R people being like, hey, just so you know, I'm not going to be here. Letting her hook up. Let her use her thing. Da-da-da. I'm out. Bye. I'm going to hang out with other famous people.
It's I'm not going to. What, I'm not going to be here with you, riffraff. I'm going to be around celebrities.
Well, no, I mean, because offhandedly, he was like, I'm going to go hang out with J-Lo and Mark Anthony. And I'm like, okay, go have fun.
Who was this? Who are you talking
room
about?
Service. Huh?
Can you say who you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, it was Pitbull.
Pitbull, yeah. I guess when you said J-Lo and Mark Anthony, I was like, is it Mr. Worldwide? It's Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah,
he seems like he's also another guy that everybody talks about, that has a persona of just those are the stories that I like.
Yeah,
celebrity
I
gossip.
was worried so much because of the persona, and then I met him, and he was nothing like the persona, and I was just like, "You're really cool."
Yeah.
And then so I stayed.
He's like a fucking Miami
God
Cuban guy. Yeah, no, he's
but
just a guy.
He's still a Miami boy. So we clicked by being able to talk about me. One of the first things I said to him was hey, yeah, you performed at my homecoming. So he's, oh, you're a Kendra girl. I know you. And from there on, instant just Miami bonding, right? And then because this whole thing happens, and it's just as really aside, hey, cool, thanks for the room, just texting, thanks, da 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 da. I think nothing of anything whatsoever because this person is just a person I've been working with.
Right.
And literally did something nice because they're where you are is unsafe. And literally nothing happens for a few days, da da da. Out of nowhere, someone who doesn't even directly work with him that they started talking shit and immediately started talking to the guy I was married at the time. They didn't know that me and him were married because we always kept that shit quiet when we were working. And one day someone was talking to him, being like, your photographer was such a fangirl, and da-da-da, like it was so inappropriate, all this stuff. And he's like, obviously he's married to me. He knows me. He's like, huh? And he's like, she wasn't even a listener before this. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, she's such a fangirl, like da-da-da, like all this stuff, like she shouldn't have accepted niceties from him, and so, like someone who's not even on this team. And I'm like, you can't even let these people aren't even allowed to just be nice to people. Like they're not even allowed without someone having an opinion about something and then painting it on someone else. And then I thought, okay, this is super inappropriate. Next time I see him and I work with him, I'm going to try to be more professional, just be away, da-da-da. I was pissed off because I'm like, I did nothing fucking wrong.
You're right. Like
whatever.
Weird, like just because someone else had an opinion, now it like ripples out, and it's like, yeah.
And like it was seem wrong because he was really nice, and then because we were all hanging out, he had left a jacket with me. Didn't see him for a little bit because we were going to be working with each other months later. So I just brought the jacket. I'm like, hey bro, here's your jacket, whatever. And then like thinking like whatever, like someone's gonna be annoyed that I was hanging his jacket. I'm like, no, I had it.
You're like, I'm a human being.
Like, it doesn't matter. He's like, he's just a nice person who's like, hey, you're cold? Here. I'm not.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how much I can say about it, but I was working at a doctor's office where it was they have, it's New York, and they had some like clientele that were celebrities, and they were like, do not accept any gifts. And I was like, please, why, like, let me, I need free shit. Like, why, like, I would love to, I don't understand why not. And they're like, we can't be like, it's a licensing thing, and you can't, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Don't accept any gifts. And I was like, I found out later that motherfucker was accepting the gifts left and right. They were for him. He didn't want any of his staff to get it because then maybe he would miss out on something. I was like, this is terrible. This is, I don't know. I was so mad, but I was like, because I found out it was
sometimes you have to have people who can like defend you and go to bat for you, because like that was a situation where it was fucked for me. Like it was reflected bad on me, even though someone else was doing something nice and like trying to keep me safe because I was in my 20s alone in a city.
He genuinely like knew where you were gonna stay and was like, don't stay there. Wow.
Yeah,
well,
was like,
that's a gesture. Yeah, that's just a regular gesture.
Yeah,
like this person is actually trying to do something to keep a young girl at that time safe, and it's one of those things where like instead it's seen as bad or whatever, because I was like seen hanging out with him.
He was like
everyone was hanging out with him.
Was everybody like, because he seems like a personable dude, so it's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. This man like goes up to little old ladies and has conversations with them because they're cute little old ladies. Like he was a nice guy. He does his own thing, whatever, but like he was a nice dude.
From
in this situation.
In this situation. And good for, I love the nice celebrity stories. I'm a big fan of when they're not assholes. Speaking of assholes, we need are we gonna do an Am I the Asshole? Here we go.
I don't have one. Do you have one?
I have a bunch. Here we go. We're going to choose. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my father the house my grandmother left me? Ooh. And then there's, oh no, where is it? I left it. No.
I guess that's going to be the one. If you can't find the other ones.
Uh-oh. What the hell just happened?
What happened?
I don't know. My computer is acting funny. I just lost. Okay. Okay, never mind. Am I the asshole for kicking my brother-in-law out of the house for asking his question in front of my kids? Interesting. Am I the asshole for policing my wife's caffeine intake? Which one of these sounds topical? Which one of these sounds good to you? Grandmother,
they're good at like everyone's good at titling their posts because it's enough to make me be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like details, please.
Details.
I like the caffeine one.
Don't chew into the microphone.
Really?
The caffeine one. The caffeine one. Am I the asshole? Okay, here we go. Am I the asshole for policing my wife's caffeine intake? My wife and I, 30s, married 2 years. My wife frequently likes to have a cup of coffee in the evening. 2 hours before going to bed. I observe that this makes her settle into bed more slowly. I have mentioned this to her many times. She has a chronic pain condition, which is probably impacted by the caffeine intake, making it harder for her to do routine things, leaving me to pick up the slack. When I mentioned it, she says her doctor does not believe caffeine intake affects her condition. But that's not really my point. It's more about her overall health impaired by less restful sleep. This week, I decided our household should be coffee-free and discarded the coffee machine and pods. I told my wife that if she liked to drink coffee, she should get one from the cafe on the way to work. This is not a financial hardship, and I rarely drink coffee at home anyway. My wife has been very mad at me for policing a habit she enjoys and considers harmless. I noticed she has gone to bed more smoothly since the coffee left the home, but she continues to be angry and short with me. I'm beginning to wonder if I went overboard. Am I the asshole?
You didn't just police her caffeine intake. You like decided to be a parent. And like it's different when you're married to someone. You could be concerned, you can even look, he could even have been a nag, whatever. Like talk to them over and over and over again, but they're still an individual person. Like you can't like you can't punish her or take away her toy. Like you can't do this shit.
No, I understand. So here's the thing.
He's the asshole though.
He's an asshole. I mean, yes, these are adult people who he's an asshole. But like, have you ever? I mean, like, I feel bad because that is a very real thing. Like caffeine before bed, and you sleep like shit, and you wake up and you feel like shit. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of having a chronic pain condition,
he's okay.
He's not wrong in that sense, but like
the concern is warranted and great actually, because a lot of spouses wouldn't give a shit. So yes, up to that point, you're flying. You're 10 out of 10. The issue here is that you cannot make a decision for your wife on any level.
This is a coffee-free house. All right.
You just can't make the decision for everyone. You can't decide for the household what happens just because what you're trying, your end, like it's the means to the end matters, because now it's not about the coffee anymore. Now you just decided, it's like somebody who's like, oh, your car's old, I'm gonna go buy a new car. Like you don't make those decisions without your spouse. You're a team here. And I've had this situation where I have a family member who her entire health is always that's true for everyone, but all her health issues are rooted in how she eats. And this lady will come home. This is actually a real story. Like 2 weeks ago, she came home and she goes, my triglycerides are high. Okay. And she's carrying a bag of bread and a bag of Chilean pastries. And I'm like, you need to tell your boyfriend, stop frying the food that you eat. I didn't even go for the bags.
Right.
And she's like, no, he doesn't do that anymore because her boyfriend's Cuban and he fries everything. Like just in case he fries everything. And she's like, I don't eat that much or whatever. And I'm not eating that much bread or sweets. And I'm like, I just did that. I just did that. And I go, no? Okay. And then just walk away. And now previously that would have sent me ape shit, because it's like the solution to your problem is right here. It's a very easy, but I can't make that decision for them.
No.
Yeah. And that's true, I think, for a lot of relationships and a lot of different things, but especially for little things like this. Like he's the asshole because he decided for her, not because he cares, not because he's concerned, not because he's not wrong in that the coffee is probably causing her to not rest. It's still her fucking choice. Like
but the whole pain thing is also a bit bullshit, because like if her doctor said no.
So let's go to the comments, because there's some interesting comments here.
Okay.
Yolanda, hello Yolanda, how are you?
Love you.
He's an asshole. Don't touch the coffee.
Oh my God, Yolanda.
That would be grounds of divorce in my household.
Yeah. Rookie's like, he's lucky she didn't decide to have a sex-free household.
She probably is now, though.
I mean, yeah, they're probably not fucking. Tanya Vals, my mom, he is definitely the asshole.
Okay.
Jeff, he used the excuse of her chronic pain condition, then immediately writes that her doctor says it has nothing to do with it. I mean,
Right?
like he did it.
It seems like he was trying to pad
my dad-
the
this
thing
is-
to give sway
We should
opinion
just
in his
have my
favor.
family like every holiday.
telling
Like,
you.
my whole family should just.
We
be
should
on
have
the
a
show.
Thanksgiving episode with your
with just my family.
Yes.
We're Cuban. My dad. We're Cuban. Coffee is a must. He's the asshole.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He also knows that if he doesn't say that, Yolanda will murder him with coffee or something.
9
I don't
times
know,
out of the
something
10
related.
things that your stepmother posts,
Yeah.
and I love it, is coffee related. So
Yeah, yeah.
she's a fan.
She's definitely a coffee person. If she is happy and her this is Jeff. If she's happy and her doctor says it's fine, let her do her thing. Okay, and my opinion is this is like absolutely the guy is the asshole. This is not. I'm not debating that. How can you? How would you in this situation address something that is causing a rift? Right, like he's clearly upset that she has an issue that he's like focused on, like, oh, she's got this pain thing, she doesn't help, that he feels like he's doing too much around the house. But
that's the thing, he's focusing on the wrong thing though.
Right, but he's focusing on the fact that I've seen it a bunch where, like, in the hospital, we would get these diabetics all the time that would come in there and they're like, hey, you're not supposed to eat this shit. And they're like, oh, but whatever. And then the family brings them fucking McDonald's to the emergency room, brings them, oh, so you could eat. Oh, no, te necesita que el azúcar. It's like, that's why they're here.
That's
you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's not always, the answer's not always sugar. You know what I mean? Like, so like there's a balance to this guy's clearly, again, the running trope in all of these is that poor communication. But if let's say it was cocaine, right? Like, let's say she had a drug habit and he's like, that's it, this is a cocaine-free household.
But that's
getting rid of all the cocaine.
Very different. The
stakes are different. The stakes are different.
An
with
addictive
cocaine.
stimulant. An addictive stimulant is
that
not
could put you in jail, and that you're not allowed to drive, or like if you're changes.
Coffee is a drug. Coffee is absolutely a drug.
Nobody goes to rehab for coffee, though.
I have actual doctors that are actually prescribing coffee.
I understand that because it is medicinal. It has effects.
Yeah.
Cocaine is not.
Cocaine actually has medicinal benefits and can be used. No, it's still in. When I was in the hospital,
not the shit you get, like when it's cut. Like,
no, it is absolutely a drug. But that's the thing. It's a social, like cigarettes. It is for a long time. It was a socially acceptable drug. It's like arbitrary labels that we have for drugs. This situation with her, that they like. Not saying that it is cocaine. I'm not saying it's that extreme. What I'm saying is that it's something that keeps her up at night so that she can't rest. And he sees like, hey, you're not doing something that will benefit you. In the meanwhile, like, he's an asshole. I'm not saying he's
what I'm saying in that scenario,
he's not addressing. Sorry, Missy.
No, what I'm saying is that in that scenario where the lady would be a cokehead, there would be an intervention. Right? And you'd set boundaries and you'd say, you're not allowed to do this. If you continue, our relationship's over, because the stakes are completely different.
But the cocaine is not the reason why people usually have interventions. It's what happens to them and the lifestyle and how their life changes because of the drug.
Even after the intervention, though,
drug users out there,
the person still has to opt out of using cocaine. You can't monitor that person. Ultimately, whether it's harmful or not, it's that person's choice on what they're going to do to their body.
Look, as someone who tried to intervene with someone when they had a problem,
right?
It doesn't fucking work.
I don't think they work either.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Like, I tried, and there was times where I did try to throw everything out of the house and anything like that. Like, but then again,
I wonder if she would have I wonder what would happen in this situation. Because again, we only go by what's written in the thing. But speculatively, I wonder what would happen if she just went and bought coffee. Because even said, go get coffee for yourself at the place on the way to work or whatever, but don't bring it home. What if she's like, fuck you, I'm bringing it home? You can't.
Yeah,
tell
that's
me
what I
to
would do. Well, no, I would. What I would do is I would just go right the fuck out to Target and get myself another coffee maker, and then keep throwing it out because I'm gonna go buy another one. Like that's I have.
Like,
That's
bitch, we got a joint account. You can keep doing this. I'll keep doing my
so
thing.
wasteful.
it's gonna be
What
wasteful.
he
So
did was
stop fucking
wasteful.
around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not happy with any of this, but I'm just saying.
I think that there's a spectrum to these concerns, and there's just a way that you can approach this conversation or this issue where it doesn't have to be such a like brute move on your part to just throw something fucking out. Like, what if you have guests one day that want coffee and you cannot offer? Like, now your hosting fucking game is off.
See,
because
that's where it's not comparable to cocaine, Mike, because you don't just walk out to your guests and go, "Would you like an after dinner cocaine?"
You might if you're in Miami.
like
I mean, that kind of. Hey, there was a time. There was a time.
It's not that time anymore.
Like hand you a mirror with lines on it. You know,
can I
like
tell you
that
a
is
story
not.
when I was in?
That is true.
When I was in
That is not the
California, like 3 years ago, we were at the Abbey and we're like dancing, having a great time. Me and my friend Steph, the other Steph, start talking to some guys, and they're from out of town, and we're just having a good time. Everything is very platonic and cool. And they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Miami." He's like, "Oh, so you have cocaine?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." And they're like, "But you're from Miami." And I'm like, "Right, but that's not like they don't give you a packet with like your driver's license."
Yeah.
Like,
when people assume that I do cocaine, I'm always like, "Well, thank you for thinking I have money, but I do not." Thank you for assuming. But
it's Red Bull. It's not cocaine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have any idea how annoying it is being a Colombian who's from Miami and moving somewhere else, and everyone's like, "Oh, you must do cocaine." I'm like, "Bitch, no, I don't."
Let's
take pictures.
Let's go to the comments because people are mad at me.
Who's
Hilda
mad at
says
you?
coffee is life and wine too, but we're talking about coffee right now. Yolanda says apples and oranges. She says apples and oranges, Mike, which means that there was a finger pointed at the end of that
You're
sentence.
not getting the good part of the turkey.
Businessmen don't snort coffee in bathroom stalls and nightclubs.
It's true.
But they also look. I'm gonna say this: how many of those late night windows do you see on South Beach and then like how many late night fucking cafecitos and shit that you see people get when they eat food and party?
It's just
like
not the same.
I'm not. Yeah, whatever.
Nobody's snorting it though.
I've never snorted coffee. I'm not talking about the method of ingestion. I'm talking that they're both stimulants that you are addicted to. Nobody wants to admit they're addicted to coffee.
Look at
when you can take a 5-minute cocaine break at work, then it'll be comparable. There are people who do this. I don't understand how people think that there's
it's not part.
I think you're a little more okay. Like, let's be real. You're in the medical field. I think you're a little more exposed to it and to the people who use stimulants to stay.
That's what you think. It is so much more common than you think it is for people to do bumps of coke. I do not do cocaine, for the record.
What the fuck did I walk into?
Mary signs. What the fuck did I walk into? My mom. There's more behind. Oh, okay. This is actually a real comment. There's more behind it than him having a problem with her coffee.
Yes,
absolutely. He's mad that she doesn't do enough around the house for whatever
like he needs, like the thing that he mentioned, the whole like it affects what she does and I have to pick up the slack. That's what you need to talk about. Right. You need to talk about to your partner about like, hey, if like you're too tired to do shit in the morning, go to sleep earlier. Then have your coffee. Have your coffee earlier.
Yeah, because that was his reasoning. It wasn't even so much about like I'm concerned about her health or long-term effects. It's like she slacks all day and then she can't sleep, and I have to pick up the slack. It's like, okay, but maybe you're just not doing your part and you're blaming the coffee.
He's blaming the lack of sleep. That's the thing. He's gone a couple layers deep to make himself look like not an asshole, but like he's like, oh, she's not sleeping well, so it must be because she drinks the coffee at night, and then such and such and such. Yolanda,
you have to put that much strategy into something like that. You're fucked.
Yeah. Yolanda says one bump or two. What if you put cocaine in coffee? That's gotta taste like shit. And Neri, am I the asshole with cocaine? Steph has not watched Cocaine Cowboys, apparently. Have you watched the newest Cocaine Cowboys?
Not the newest. I need to support Billy.
I
just watched the 2006 one a few weeks ago, which was a revelation.
Enlightening.
Yeah, after a while, I was like, "There's too much murder." Like, I get it; it was violent, but it was too much murder. Hi, Hill.
I just hear about it all the time because Corbin was our
he was on the show. Yeah.
No, not only that he's on the show. He used to teach at my school.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Hilda
met him
says-
first as a teacher and then on the show.
Oh, Hilda says, "Hi, I'm Hilda. Hi, Hilda.
Hi, Hilda.
And I'm addicted to coffee." Yes,
We love you, girl.
are all addicted to
Send
coffee.
her. We can send you Starbucks.
That's a socially acceptable addiction, I think.
Yeah.
Like people
I
are...
ended up having a discussion with David the other day because he came back from the neurologist. And apparently the neurologist was telling him to have coffee to help with his migraines. And I'm like, but aren't you getting migraines like whenever you don't drink coffee? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, but isn't that because of the caffeine withdrawal? He's like, yeah. So he told me to just keep drinking it. I was like,
coffee's supposed to help with ADHD too.
Coffee is supposed to help with a lot of things, but coffee is also supposed to be bad for a lot of things. And they're the same thing sometimes.
In moderation.
depending on
Everything
what you
in
read.
moderation.
Yeah, it all depends
I think
on what
with
you
this
read.
guy's issue is not her health so much as the fact that she struggles to fall asleep and then lags the rest of the day.
I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree. Coffee gives you diarrhea. I think we can all agree.
It's a diuretic.
That it is absolutely flushes the pipes, clears the system out.
I did not think that's where you were going with that.
That's the only thing about coffee, apparently, that we can agree on is that you have to
No,
poop.
but coffee's okay, but coffee's delish though. Like it's a comfort.
Of course. Guess who's the dissenter?
What?
Nary
What?
Steins. Coffee is whack. I will never understand how people can like coffee.
Okay, but
everyone
he's
likes it.
also
Coffee's differently.
into he was into that what's that crank shit that you were drinking at the con?
What?
Rockstar, Monster.
No, it was
5
something
Hour
along
Energy.
along those lines that it was like a bang. That's what it's called.
Bang, yeah.
That bang shit is like I don't know. That shit is out of control. And he loved that shit. So yeah, sure, coffee sucks, but I'm sure sports drinks are just fine.
Yeah, they're all it's all a variety of chemistry experiments that we've put into our bodies. And now
we're just gonna see what happens.
And at the end of the day, none of it matters.
At the end of the day, this is it's bitter. Why does anyone ever like anything bitter? I don't like bitter chocolate, bitter coffee, or bitter people in my life.
That was a shot at me, and I don't appreciate it. So fuck you.
You are the dark chocolate.
Yolanda, I don't like it. I love it. Coffee. My mom, coffee is your friend.
Coffee is everybody's friend.
Hilda says, "Send Bustelo." And is shocked at Mary. Shocked.
Listen, coffee is good.
Tragic, like a very controversial.
You know who makes
episode
great
today.
coffee? Jeff makes bomb ass Cuban coffee. Like that'll turn your day around the way he makes that coffee. And Starbucks even sometimes like Starbucks has like I have always rolled my eyes at the pumpkin craze. I don't get it. And I dipped into the Starbucks menu last week, and as it turns out, it's not awful. I do prefer the cold brew pumpkin spice over the latte or what the other shit that they have. But Starbucks will get you in a good mood.
Turns out popular things can be okay.
Yeah.
Go out and be basic, my friend. That was the go forth and be basic. Yeah, that was last week. This week,
took a turn.
Go forth. And I think we should all do like shots, like get a colada at midnight. And let's just see whose theory rides the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like whose theory stands.
There's some people that aren't
test.
affected by coffee the same way. Christy Mercancini, she can have coffee at 9:00 and go to sleep at 10.
Same.
Some people are just not affected by it.
Same. It doesn't. The coffee doesn't keep me awake.
See?
Like if Cuban coffee. Sorry. Most coffee doesn't keep me awake. Cuban coffee.
Well, that's just petroleum.
The thing is, I'll tell you this. We had Chiquita's mom came to visit, and we had them over the apartment. And then I, cooked and all this stuff. Or no, we had ordered like a bunch of stuff. And then at the end, I made Cuban coffee for everybody. And that was like the
good boy.
The test. It was like let's see, I have to do the noise. You have to do the clinking spoon in the cup thing. Yeah. And then you have to, it passed the taste test. I mean, that's one of those things that you have to learn how to do for yourself when you leave Miami. Venezuela.
Venezuela?
Yeah.
Okay, so did they like it?
Yeah, of course. Well, they also from New York. No, Nary, no, get out. No, get out.
He's going to come yelling about coffee.
No, you can't get in.
Just kick Nary out.
Yeah,
you kicked him out. No.
Get out. No, get out.
Stop.
He's topless.
Put on a shirt.
I just got off a stay. I just got off a show. I just got off a show, and I'm like super hot. Like I'm like literally the only reason I'm not dripping is because I'm underneath the AC vent. So I'm like super hot, and I have another show coming up in like 20 minutes. So
thanks for the update. We'll see you later. Okay, bye.
No.
He's the worst.
You're saying
Only
that into
eight-
the mic.
Only 8 views, huh? Yeah, it goes down when I'm not here. I see.
Oh, literally everyone is here for me. Everyone is connected to me.
I'm trying to figure out this camera angle, and I can't figure out the fucking camera angle for the life of me.
You need a tripod, my friend.
That angle's making it obvious how much weight you're losing, though. A little jawline there. We're seeing that jawline coming up. What?
It's a filter.
Cut.
So, Neri, what's your opinion at the end of because we're closing down the Am I the Asshole segment?
Coffee whack.
No, it did. Some guy threw away all the coffee in the house because his wife was drinking it too late and then making it so that she didn't sleep well and didn't help around the house.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like I honestly, I didn't catch that. The whole Am I the Asshole? I literally turned it on. I'm like, oh, I just got off stage. Let me turn it on. And then they were like, cocaine is the same as coffee. And I'm like, what? What happened? Which, by the way, I agree with. I agree that cocaine is a stimulant. I get what you're saying. I told people are addicted to it. It's just more socially acceptable in 2021 to be doing coffee. Like, I get it. I'm with you, Mike. I get that part.
Cold brew coffee and bumps of cocaine, same.
Yeah.
You'll never sleep. You'll never sleep.
But I will say, I didn't hear the story. I'm just learning about it now for the first time. That's absurdly ridiculous. That's really one of those things where you go, why? I mean, like, follow that logic. I want to see that logic. I want to see that logic train of she's up all night. Okay. Does coffee do that for you guys? Does coffee like actually wake you up?
The main complaint in the comments is that stems from the line, I have observed that this makes her settle into bed more slowly, and then also that I decided our household should be coffee free, where it's like he's the parent. He's being like
he's
a
making
parent
these
to his
decisions.
wife.
He's jumping to these conclusions rather than testing anything out and talking to her about it.
Yeah.
That would be as arbitrary as saying like I've decided that my wife's not going to use shampoo anymore. Like this is a shampoo-free house. This is a shampoo-free house. And you go, what?
No sulfates.
Yeah, like how
it's environmentally safe.
Yeah,
I just love the irony of you saying it's a shampoo-free house.
Well, I
we don't need it.
I shampoo the beard and my back.
Shampoo. Hey, you know when you run out of soap, shampoo is soap. It can go everywhere. Shampoo.
There's a thing that they make right where they're like, oh, shampoo and soap. Like shampoo/soap, they make that.
That's like a body wash.
Yeah,
shampoo.
that's a red flag.
Yeah.
What's a red flag?
If you do that all-in-one body wash thing, shampoo body wash thing, it's supposedly a red flag in dating. Not for me. I'm just saying for other people.
I like efficiency. What is the problem here?
Yeah, I've never heard that.
I think it's supposed to. What is it supposed to? I think it's supposed to show like a lack of self-care or something.
Yeah,
like that.
That
It's
you
a joke,
wash
obviously.
yourself?
It's a joke. It's something
Yeah.
people joke about being like, if you use this all in one.
It's a red flag to be that specific about red flags. Where you're like, oh,
I'm
that's a
just
red
telling
flag.
you
Yeah,
what
I
I've
don't-
learned
I don't
in
think
the
anyone takes it seriously.
I'm just telling you what I've heard in the trenches. That doesn't
Yeah, yeah.
bother me. Samurai swords is one of those stupid red flags for me that I'm walking the fuck out of the room if I see that shit in your room. Walking out.
Quick question.
Shit, I don't have one
Samurai
at
sword,
hand.
A bigger red flag: samurai sword or waterbed, or samurai sword above a waterbed.
I mean,
Well,
obviously that one.
One of those is just unsafe. I mean, it's just not.
The waterbed?
I feel like the waterbed might not be as. I mean, it's useful, right? You could do stuff on that. What are
No,
the
you
fucking
can't do
samurai
shit on
swords
it.
for?
You can't do shit on it.
No,
I feel like-
I would argue that you could do more with a samurai sword than you can with a waterbed. Waterbeds are such a such a gimmick. It's such a it was that's why they went out of style.
My brother had
Have you
one
guys
for
ever
many
slept
years.
on one? I
Yep.
did, and it was fantastic.
My brother had
I
one
was a
for
child,
many,
though.
many years. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was like a thing when he became a teenager, and he begged my mom for a waterbed. Mom, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. That he begged my mom for a waterbed for years, and then we had to drain it to get it out of the house because we needed to get rid of it. It weighs a fucking ton.
Yes.
And we ended up getting water. Like we had to rig a hose out of the wind. It was such a clusterfuck to get this shit out of to get it empty to then move it outside. I just remember it being such a pain in the ass, and it was like expensive and used. Like even my brother was just like, I regret this.
And it's been confirmed that they're like super bad for your back. They're super bad for you to sleep on.
Yeah.
These are not really good. It's ridiculous. But
So, it was a nightmare. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, wait, Hilda commented something, and I need to know more about this.
Hey, I still have my sword from my training days.
What training?
She did martial arts training. I want her on kickflicks so bad.
See, okay, like, but see one of the things, like, if you actually did like actual martial arts in training, like that's a thing you trained with.
That's different. I'm talking about like glamorizing the Asian culture as like decoration, like interior design. That shit's not cool.
We're not talking about people making their own shields, Stephanie. We're talking about like people who use
who's done that
martial art training.
My ex.
This
was
the same
like
person
towards the end. Towards the end,
she's trying to have an intervention for it.
There's a lot happening, man. How long were? Never mind. Off the air.
Can you put up the multiple red flags?
Oh yeah, of course. We'll
put it up really quick. So like around where am I? Where's my finger? Okay, around here, like the one all the way at the end is where shields came in. Like there was like all these first ones, but then like at the end,
boom!
That was
Steph. Tell him the best part about the shields. Tell him the best part.
Oh God, this is Larry's favorite part. He was using like found paint and whatever to like make the polishes and everything at the end. And there was one day where I walked out and he was putting this one particular color I recognized on the shield. And I'm like, where did you get that color? And he's like, oh, I used your nail polish. He'd been using my expensive ass Opie nail polish to like do designs and like mix it with other paints to make like reflective things on the shields. And I'm just like,
no.
That is so much more expensive than any paint you could have gotten. And it's more expensive than the actual shield you're going to sell.
That's what I was getting to, Steph. Tell him what the purpose of the shield was.
Yeah, he wanted to like put it on Etsy and sell the shields to make money. And they were just like wooden words.
I don't like the fact that I'm the only one laughing and everybody else looks very sad.
Yeah, like I'm just like, oh,
this is brand new information. I'm trying to process.
Look, they were professional. Like when I first got with them, they were a professional person.
I will say this: I have had swords. I actually still have a machete from when I go hiking, and I have an axe.
That's a tool.
And
that's different.
And it was
not too messy.
What do you mean?
She said, Jeff said, Mike said, I have a machete. And then Steph goes, yeah, but that's just cool. I'm like, no.
That's a tool. That's a tool.
Oh, I think you said that's so cool.
Machetes are cool and so are axes.
Yeah, I was using.
So what do you draw the line? Just single blade? Like, what do you? What is this?
No, what I'm saying is, if you're using it as decoration, as interior design decoration, that's a fucking red flag. I'm not. But if it's like you're a sword fighter, or you throw axes, or you need a machete because you go for a hike, that's fucking cool. I love going.
Hold on.
I love going to throw axes like all the time. I just haven't in a while. That shit's fucking so much fun. I highly recommend that everyone does that.
It is very fun.
So where's the line in the sense of like, what if it's a movie prop and they're really into movies and they're a collector? So what if, at what point does it turn into decoration of the Asian culture, and what point it turns into a movie buff? And like, where do you find that little
like if you found the
line of
Ninja
like
3, the domination?
Oh no! Why did
you find it
for
real? You found it?
It's called every katana blade on the planet. It's not a special blade. It's not. There's no distinctive feature. Here's my question, real quick. The reason I bring this up is because I once bought the sword from Gladiator. I had the sword from Gladiator. I had that for about a week until I got buyer's remorse because my then girlfriend made fun of me so much that I got buyer's remorse, and then I went to go return it. But I really regret returning it because I wish I would have had. And in retrospect, it was probably the best thing to do because she was a violent person, so that probably would not have been a good idea to have that in the house.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! I will say this: the perfect example of when it goes too far is Jeremy Jam from Parks and Recreation. Do you remember that? Where it's basically like he's just like obsessed with Japanese culture. He's got the hibachi from the thing. He's got things. He's wearing kimonos. He's got it's calm down, buddy. Like you're not like we get it. If you enjoy the culture and all that stuff, but it's a certain thing of fetishizing the culture.
That's what I'm saying. That is what the red flag. That's more of what the red flag is in the actual. We have some good comments and the actual sword.
From what your I think your mom was at the
does my Ren Fair Jeff? Does my Ren Fair purchased flail that I hide near my bed for burglars count as a red flag?
He's not lying. That's
he's married.
Real.
He's married. It does ask his wife. My mom says, "Oh, it leaked."
That's the water bed.
It was a nightmare. Jeff, I have a sword, but it was a groomsman gift, so it doesn't count. Interesting.
I think that says more about your friends.
Yeah. My mom says, Mike, I think you still have your swords in your closet at home. In my closet?
No, man.
Her
closet.
Her house, probably.
I was like, how does she know what I have in my closet?
I love that you turned around. Like, really? I didn't know that. Like,
I'm so stupid. Rookie, just want to point out that I said he needed to go years before it happened. He set my Kraydar off. Oh, this is
right.
Yeah.
Rookie, we all said that though.
Yeah.
FYI, we all said that. Not a person that met them did not say that. Everybody said that. Also, I literally introduced them to a radio personality in South Florida, and his facial expression said the same thing that Rookie and everybody else said.
Yeah,
they was like,
yeah, we all know. This was a version of throwing. Like someone should have thrown away Steph's coffee, and someone should have thrown away the boyfriend. And be like, "This is the boyfriend-free home."
Probably should have.
Rookie also said, lightsabers don't count as swords for red flag purposes. Okay,
they're not swords.
And then my mom, because it's my closet now. Yes, my mom. So now it's a red flag. My mom has swords. It's not me now.
See, that just made her cool. That just made her cool.
Don't break into her house. She has swords.
So like for you specifically, like the Asian katana swords, it's not like Ren Fair-ish swords. Like
no, I trained when I trained Aido and all that stuff. Like there was, I have a wooden sword. I have like one of the training swords.
Training is
and a couple of other ones. One my friend like gave me because he was moving and he was like, "You want the sword?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take a sword."
Sure.
But it's one of those like mall ninja swords, like the mall ninja shit, where it's like if I guarantee you, if I really hit anything with it, it's gonna like crack off the handle or whatever. It's like it's not for fighting. Also, who's gonna fight with a fucking samurai sword? Like
ninjas.
Who's gonna fight with the flail next to their bed? Jeff.
Jeff's ready, man. Yeah. Jeff's ready.
Well,
I want to know what Christy has next to her bed.
A bat.
She's like a gun. What
you think? Phone. She has a phone to call 911. She has a phone.
Thank you everybody for listening to What's Up. We did it. We brought it in for a landing. We covered all the bases, and Mary showed up again.
Yay. I'm actually pleased. I wanted to see if the Wi-Fi will be strong enough to be able to do this, and apparently, at least for today, it is. So I was actually pleased. I thought I was gonna get kicked off immediately. I was like, "Oh,
yeah, that would have been bad." Okay, tune in. No, just kidding. Are you gonna be on next week? Are you still on the ship next week?
I'm still gonna be on the ship. Mike and I are gonna actually see each other physically on Sunday.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. And then we'll determine who the mommy and who the daddy is. Like
no, that's not necessary at all.
That's not.
We're gonna record kick flicks, and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, we're gonna see each other in person. We have to because I ordered a bunch of Amazon shit to his house, so I need to pick it up.
When does it get here?
It already got here.
It's an errand.
It's here.
Yeah, it says it already got delivered.
Oh shit! I gotta check the mailroom downstairs then.
All right.
Don't inject your shit.
Tune in next time to see if Neri got his Amazon.
We should do an unboxing of what he sent to your house.
Look at this razor blade. He bought a razor blade. Why does he need 17 razor blades? Why does he need so much?
How is he gonna get through customs with all of these razor blades?
We're gonna figure it out.
Thank you everybody for listening. Check out What's Up Bro on all of the social media platforms at WuBro Pod. Check out all the shows on the Geek Bro Network, including at geekbro.net.
A new one, Crimacopia.
Crimacopia.
Our friend Jeff and our friend to the podcast Q, they're starting a murder podcast, and it's going to be awesome. And
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's a podcast where they're going to document their murders and
Murder.
let me tell you something. It gets dark, and those two are kind of great because Jeff falls asleep to like murder podcasts. So like this is
my girlfriend does.
And
she
Q
watches
loves
all
that
that
shit.
forensic file shit, and she's
I
like,
don't know, I don't know, that's a good idea, but especially, but anyway,
the amount of brain matter found in the victim's shoes, and she's like,
I can't get into that. I can't get into those documentaries, but he napped for an hour on Monday, listening to that shit. So that's coming soon. I think the first episode will be out. I want to say
first episode already dropped.
Oh,
It's
first
the
episode
intro
already out.
episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, I'm listening to it today.
It was super interesting when Jeff made fun of people who pen pal inmates, and immediately afterwards, Q said, "I had a pen pal in prison for years."
Wow! Oh, now I gotta listen.
You gotta listen. It's fun. It's a fun episode, man. I'm telling you, Crimacopia. Really get the good shit on WuBro.
We're just broadening the multiverse of
We are the
Geek
Phil
Bro
Collins
shows.
of podcasts.
The WuBro podcast universe.
Do we have any other podcasts that are also video, or is everything else
Kickflix,
solely
Mount Geekmore? Tune in, follow everybody on social media. Follow Neri at Neri Signs. Whatwashisname.com so you can get updates because he posts. He's the center of our universe.
He is
our Tony Stark.
No, you know we realized.
Well, I'll take that. I'll take. I won't take the center of the universe, but I'll take the Tony Stark.
You'll take the Tony Stark. You know, we all realized that we're only a part of this podcast because we just randomly were invited because someone's friend and then someone's ride, and then I had a microphone, and we're like, oh, now we're all friends with this asshole because we had shit that we could benefit him.
We all just like happened to walk into his house.
No,
the worst one is Stephanie. She moved across the half around the world, and she's still stuck with me. She's like, "What? How far do I have to go to not be part of this shit anymore?" Stuck.
That's why she's mad at COVID. She's like, "Fucking COVID." It's like, "Oh, were you affected?" It's like, "Yeah, I have to do this fucking show from around the world."
It's 10 a.m. for God's sake.
I haven't had my coffee.
Thank you, everybody, and go out and follow all of the social medias. Kickflix Mondays, Mount Geekmore's on Mondays. You'll see.
Just follow us.
That sounds like a threat. Like you'll see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, our Cash App and Patreon is not up. The little.
Because once you put the flags up, you got to put.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah.
I do it up.
There it is.
So if you ever want to donate to the podcast and keep this shit going.
Shout out to Rookie and Izu and
Yolanda.
They are patrons, and they go to patreon.com/WUBROPOD WuBro Pod, and thank you very much for them for contributing. I'm gonna be more active now and promote Patreon because I haven't done that on the social networks yet.
Yeah.
Guys, I have a clip that's going viral. This is the time now to go.
Yeah, let's
really which clip?
Strike while the iron is hot. The Nicaragua food one, right?
Yeah, correct.
Hell yeah. Follow us all on the social media. That's how winning is done. Bye.